Hey, Quinn here from Tactical and Practical, making a video that I wish I didn't have to make, but since I do, I thought maybe you could benefit from it. Today we're applying some Birchwood Casey. I guess now maybe they're just Birchwood. Aluminum black. You may be familiar with Oxbow blue. Cold bluing is a method by which you can rust steel in a controlled fashion to give it a blued finish. Aluminum doesn't rust, so you can't blue it, right? However, you can turn it black. I went out, took this gun out for the first time yesterday, and by sheer stupidity, I did not have a 1/2 inch wrench with me, and I put a crescent wrench on these nuts because they were finger tight when I left the house, and I forgot to tighten them, so I used a crescent wrench, and as you can see here, I scratched off that black finish on this brand new cantilever scope mount. I've already corrected the back one. Now you see how nice and black that is on both sides? That's the finished version because I used the same wrench on both sides. So this was all silvery and this was all silvery. This is the after picture, but I'll show you what I did real quick for the procedure to do the thing. Okay, first of all, I probably should remove all this stuff and then you're supposed to clean it with water and then dry it, but this thing's brand new. I know it's clean and I know that's a fresh scratch. There's nothing in there that's going to get in the way of this chemical operating. So what I did was I just released the back nut pressure, did the back one. Now that's tightened to spec. Release the front nut pressure so I can get in there behind it, and we'll do it. So once you know you have a clean work surface, use a swab, or if it's a bigger area, maybe a little rag. You get your aluminum black, put it on your swab, and you just paint it right on. Now this stuff's only going to work where the solution actually is touching the metal, so you might need to dip your solution a couple times, and you might want to switch swabs a couple times. It's supposed to sit on there for 1 minute to let it do its thing. This one isn't so bad. The other one was actually worse, and this stuff did a great job. So you get your solution on there. Alexa, set a 1 minute timer.
1 minute. Starting now.
Set your timer. Now another brand new swab with solution, because that other swab I have started turning black on me, and I want to make sure I'm putting fresh solution onto this little scratch. And you kind of just paint it on. I twist this swab as I go, and look, you can already see it disappearing. All right, I'd used this on one other gun that just had a couple tiny scratches on it that I didn't cause. But they were so small to be inconsequential, I didn't even know if this stuff was going to do anything. There you go. So you paint up all, you see that? Look, it's already turning black. So you paint up all the surfaces where you have a nick. You set your timer, and then you just wait it out, let it do its thing. And I don't think this is going to be perfect. I just wanted to knock the shine off, you know, because that was a pretty nasty gash to have, especially first day out. But accidents happen. Live and learn. Alexa, cancel the timer. Okay, now look, that looks like it's pretty blacked up there. I got a little bit of fuzz there. Okay, so the next thing that I do, I'll let it sit just for another 30 seconds or so. While that's setting up, I'll tell you about the gun a little bit. I took it out. I've got a hog hunt coming up, and I would like to shoot this. You have to use, at least where I'm going, 62 grain bullets or heavier if you want to hunt hogs with an AR. I had the Hornady 75, the blacks, Hornady blacks. They did really well. They did well. This thing's a tack driver, 25. It was just putting the biscuit in the basket all day. I took it out to 100, and that means that 25-yard zero is basically a 25-200 zero, so you're about 2.5 inches high at 100. It was putting it where it was supposed to, but I found that I was a little bit all over, and I think it just could be, it was my first time shooting this gun, so I was getting it prepped because the bullets in the mail are the IMI 77 grain razor cores. I thought those blacks would get me close. I drive by the range on my way to the hunt, so we will be able to test those out and make sure we're on. The other thing you want to remember, it took me a second to remember it when I was out there dialing, is that this Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 is 0.2 mils per click. It is not a mil a click. It's it's not 0.1 mil a click, so 10 clicks is a mil. 5 clicks is a mil on this thing. So if you were to not remember that, you would be moving a bullet basically 6.5 inches at 100 instead of what, 3.36 or whatever it is. So something to remember. But it's fun to shoot. I had 0 failure to fires, 0 issues with ejection, right from the factory fresh. This thing's good to go. I still am a little bit unhappy that this thing is so wiggly, but the AR community tells me that all AR stocks are wiggly. Oh, and look, there's a little bit on this nut, so we'll blacken that a little bit while we got this thing out. All right, the next thing you want to do is you want to get rid of the solution that's still on that. There's still a little bit of shine there. Maybe I'll go one more. Next thing you're going to want to do is, remember, that solution has to get onto the metal. If you rub it around and I think it starts turning black on you, and you are not right on, if you start rubbing the pre-blackened solution onto your scratch mark or whatever, I don't think it's going to work. You need to have fresh solution in contact with that metal. So I was a little bit all over at 100, but that could be my technique. I'm going to take it back and see what happens on Friday with those IMIs, but I will tell you that right out of the box, I think this was like 1 inch low and 3 inches left, all mounted up. The adjustments tracked perfectly. I clicked it right over. I was right on the bullseye, and I was peppering the bullseye. Then out to 100, it did exactly what it's supposed to do based on the ballistic charts of those Hornady bullets, so I'm pretty pleased so far. Okay, so it's all blackened up. I think blackened up enough that I can live with it and forget that I ever made this stupid mistake. So you want to take a clean swab now, and you wipe off any excess that's on there. Because you don't want this solution to just keep working indefinitely or end up migrating somewhere else or getting on some other part of your gun. All right, so I think I got all the excess off that I can. The next thing you do, I'm going to put the cap on this Illuma Black before I spill it on the dining room table, and my wife will kill me. Next thing you need to do is rinse it with water. I'm not going to remove the scope and the scope mount and all that. I just take another clean swab, run it around a little bit of water, and then rinse. I mean, maybe if I had something that was silver or aluminum color and I was trying to blacken the entire thing, or, you know, a different situation, maybe I would take this thing off and run it under the water. But I mean, this is a pretty controlled environment right here, right? So get it all rinsed off. Don't forget, if you hit your nut or something, you want to rinse that off too. Try to get all that off of there. So it comes up a little bit black, right? So I switch to another clean swab. Clean water again. I like this thing to come up clean, because then I know I got everything. That's getting pretty stinking close. Then I always clean around the area a little bit in case I goobered the solution and didn't know it. And that swab's coming up pretty clean. Clean, dry. Start to dry it. That's looking way better, isn't it? Oh, look, see, I found a little spot there that I had missed. So that's looking pretty good. And then the last thing I do is I can move a piece of tissue paper around a little bit, like you're shining your shoes. A little bit more than I can get that swab into these little cracks. And then you want to get the top. I think it's going to be pretty good after this. So that's it. Now I'll try to zoom in for you so you can see the difference. It's not perfect, but it's way better than what it was yesterday. I couldn't believe I did that. This aluminum's pretty fragile stuff, really, especially if you have a steel stinking crescent wrench on there. Just go around one more time for insurance purposes. The other thing that I'll tell you, the Wheeler fat wrench. I love the tool. I did not buy the digital one because I didn't think I would use it that much, and frankly, I use this thing all the time. Use it on firearms, use it on bikes, anything. However, it does not come with a ratchet, at least the version I bought. But if you have a impact, like a screwdriver bit set, that has one of these adapters and you have a ratchet set, you can just take your 1/2 inch, put it on, it fits right into the wheeler, click it in, dial up your poundage. I think the torque on this is either 25 to 35 pounds or 30 to 35 pounds. This, because maybe the digital one also has kind of wide tolerances. Basically, the more precision your machine, your device can offer you, the more expensive it's going to be. So this has a plus minus inch pounds on it based on the setting. So I've got this set at like maybe 37, because if mine happens to be under, then I don't want this to come loose. So I'm just kind of hedging my bet where I won't strip it. Simply put that on, and then you just tighten it down like a screwdriver and wait for, you want 3 clicks. And that's it. Repair is complete. The scope mount doesn't look brand new, but it looks way better than it did just a few minutes ago. If you look right there, basically you can't tell that I had screwed that thing up. There's a couple little silver dots on there that are still there. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with how that Aluma Black did. Casey Birchwood, aluminum black. I hope this helps you guys. If you learned something or you found this information useful, please take a second to like the video. I really appreciate it. You can check out my website. The link is below in the comments. And subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I can keep these coming. Hopefully, you guys learned something. I know a lot of times when I need to evaluate whether or not I want to buy, say, aluminum black, I look to YouTube. So appreciate you guys being here and stopping by. I'll let you know how those IMI razor cores shoot. I do have a bunch of Frontier, both 223 and 556 loads coming in 55. They're actually reasonably priced at the time of this video. The razor cores are a little more, but not much, and I have them on order. So we'll get your range report from those razor cores and get this SIG all put through its paces. Y'all have a great day. Bye.